Welcome back to Haunted and Historic Australia for another episode in our adventures. In this episode, we take a look at the old Catholic cemetery in Nowra. Within the Nowra Old Catholic Cemetery are more than 239 buried. Not everyone buried here had a headstone, including that of William Ratnett, whose 82-acre farm the cemetery was built upon. He wished to be buried there, although he wasn't actually of Catholic denomination. But his wishes were carried out, but he did not want a headstone, just a simple fence. And he died on December 29th, 1880. The earliest burial is believed to be that of Bridget Smith, née Hogan. She was only 21 when she died in 1845. It is believed that Bridget died while trying to cross a river to get to her newly built home that her husband had organised for her. That she appears to have had a daughter, Anne, the same year that she died. So it's just luck that Anne survived. She must have been in the husband Patrick's arms at the time. And sadly, Patrick, the husband, dies in 1860. It is believed he enjoyed quite a lot of drink, and it may have been due to the loss of his wife 15 years before. But he is found in 1860 drowned near a drain near the property after having consumed quite a large amount of alcohol. Their daughter Anne went on to get married and lived a long life near Nara. I could not see that Anne, Bridget's daughter, was buried here, nor could I find Patrick Smith. But a headstone has been erected by Patrick Hogan, Bridget's father. At the front of the cemetery, before you go through the gates, there are two headstones, and the one on the left is for Margaret Hogan, his wife, and his daughter Bridget Smith. The two of them buried together at the front of the cemetery. When George Bass explored the area in 1797, he named the area Shoals Haven, shoals being a large group of fish swimming together. There must have been quite a lot of fish when he came into the vicinity that he decided to name the town after it. The town Nowra was actually named after the first people's word for either black cockatoo or camping place, and when translated into English words or English letters was originally written as Nowro, which may have sounded like Nowra, and then over time changed to Nowra. But that was Charles Throsby, an explorer who came through after Bass. The cemetery was officially closed in the January of 1887. However, some relatives of those already interred have been buried as late as 1948. A Mary Ryan, who was part of a large group of the Ryan family, buried there. The old Nowra cemetery actually had a lich gate, which is a roofed gateway to a churchyard. It was a traditional entrance to a cemetery where mourners respectfully filed past the remains of the deceased and conveyed their final expressions of sympathy. The Nowra Old Catholic Cemetery still has a form of this at its gateway. This particular cemetery has many families buried here, pioneers, some of the earliest settlers in the area. It is a well-kept cemetery, gated and secure. Some of the headstones have broken, but for such an old cemetery, many of them still stand. It is quite nice to walk around this particular cemetery and see how well kept it is. Many of the descendants most likely still live in the area and would come here to visit their ancestors. So a friend of mine and I decided to walk through the old Catholic cemetery and do a little bit of filming for you. I hope you enjoy. There is another Nowra cemetery, the General Cemetery, that I'd like to get to in the not so distant future, so definitely stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe and share if you enjoyed this video, and hit that notification bell so you're aware when I'm posting more adventures. It may seem morbid to many wandering around on a warm spring day looking at gravestones in a cemetery, but for me it's quite relaxing and tranquil. I'm clearly not your average person, but I enjoy filming these in particular so as that anybody who wanted to look at it who may not be able to get there can see it. I will go back to this particular cemetery as the sun casting a shadow wasn't in my favour, but I do want to see the other cemetery in Nowra as well, the General, which is a large cemetery and will take some time to view. So don't despair. If you have someone in this cemetery and you'd like to see more, I will be back, and hopefully not in the too distant future.
Aussie made.